I just feel like you guys are so dramatic about this whole ICE thing. Like, relax. It's not like they're doing you people like Emmett Till. It's not like they're eating your people. It's not like they did you like Henrietta Lacks. It's not like the Tuskegee experiment. Y'all are only just being put in camps and being deported. You are being so dramatic. Like, there's relax. 399 more years to go. It's only been one fucking year. Relax. Like, you're being a little too dramatic. It's not that bad. Y'all don't like being treated black. 399 more years to go and a couple weird experiments. Then we'll talk.
Okay.
So, all right, I go to you, Brandon. You. That one struck a nerve with you. What do you think?
Even if people think it's not their problem, the comparison is unnecessary. That don't
Okay.
like we cannot do the them versus us. Oh, that's how they doing us. No, either you sympathize or you don't. But man, you out here bringing comparisons to it, unnecessary. That was just. Ugh.
I respect that. I respect that. I respect that.
So who was she imitating?
I wish I knew it. I hope that's not her regular man.
That was she. Is that how she feels like they're portraying everything to be? Because a lot of people have been saying that they've been trying to find ways to get Black Americans into what's going on with all this ICE out here. There's been a lot of people talking about that. And when you see something like this, you wonder who's putting it out. At least that's what I'm thinking.
Or that's the vibe that they're getting back. Because I see that's not the first person I see make
right. She's acting that out.
Yeah, but that's not the first person I seen made that reference. And it's due to the strategies that I think that they're using to mobilize people.
Right.
So I could see it's like this. Brandon, you stated that well. I got to give you credit there. The comparison is horrible, but I think the people that they're employing for Black people to mobilize people is an old civil rights type movement. And once you go there, most people would take it there.
Yep.
You get what I'm trying to say? And I think that's where she's coming from. Would I have done that like that? No, but I could understand some of the sentiments. But and go ahead, P.
No, I was just thinking like they compare the deportation with things like major things that's happened within Black American community, horrible things.
Yep.
And it's living in this living in as a Black American because I came here when I was 9 years old. But growing up in the culture, I understand where they're coming from when Black Americans talk about the way other people come here and treat the culture. And when you see something like this, you could definitely look at it and be like, why can't y'all just leave us alone? Like, why y'all gotta? Because it seems like they're trying to pick a fight to bring Black Americans into this ICE situation for no reason. They're just on the side minding their business. Like, listen, this is not for us. This is not our fight. And when I see something like this, they're looking for Black Americans to get involved, or they're trying to get them involved. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Okay. I do agree. The only thing I don't see is the reason I can't get behind some of these causes is because I don't even want to go that direction, man. I don't even want to go that direction.
Around the PP hole?
I know that's what this administration voted for, and that's what they campaign on. You get what I'm trying to say? But these people are fighting. The ones that drive me crazy are the like you said, we had that one before where we was watching the video where they were barricading themselves into that community, and they were self-policing their own community, and it's like
that was to keep ICE out,
right? But what is ICE there for? To keep these same people out. That's my point. So if you're self-policing ICE, but ICE is self-keeping for the world, for people don't come in the country or get people out the country, it kind of defeats the point. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we know there are a couple people that got killed, or you know what I'm saying, the situation that happens, you know, the casualty of war. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that, but they still got to do their job, because if not, what's gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? We can't go to Colombia and just walk in. You can't walk into Colombia. You can't walk into Brazil. You can't walk into Mexico. You can't just walk. You know what I'm saying? You can't do any of these things.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that. You go to any country, your visa run out, let them catch you and see what's going to happen. They're going to throw your butt right in jail and deport you back to the U.S. Trust me, it does happen. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we seen it where it's like, yo, even you're on a boat, if you don't know if you're in the next country waters, but you going to jail.
Yeah.
You going to jail.
If the Coast Guard catch you.
So this one was a little weird. Her sentiments in the way how she depicted, but I think those are the people that they're putting in front of to mobilize Black people or to mobilize minorities into that situation. That's why I feel that. Came out. Yeah. But Brandon, you're right. You know what I'm saying? The comparison is weird, but it's the strategy and what some people are using to mobilize certain people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can get behind that. But delivery, everything.
Closing. Any closing remarks on this one?
I just want to respond to Gavin. You know, he said it's weird because ICE just targets any person of color at this point. So I feel everybody's involved now. No. If I was to get stopped, I'd just be, hey, I'm an American citizen, show my ID, keep it pushing. It's part of the job. I don't know why they would target me forever, but you know. Wait, what? Hold up, Gavin, comment. Why is ICE?
Yeah, when he said, why have they only killed Americans so far?
You know, that young lady with her vehicle, you know, you can't put people in harm's way when you got that vehicle. And then you know, the other individual, you can't go to a protest with a pew-pew. Just things that you can avoid these things happening.
So let's clarify. Let me clarify that for you a little bit. You can go.
Yes,
you can go. It was legal for what he did, but would I
wouldn't advise it.
I won't advise it, because trust me, I won't advise it.
Right.
And if you did, you wouldn't approach law authorities or whoever with it.
I mean, I in my life as an African American, I definitely wouldn't. I'm not Kyle Rittenhouse or anybody like that, so I wouldn't advise it and I wouldn't do it. That's all that is.
Because trust me, let me give you a perfect example. You remember growing up on a basketball court and cops used to pass by? Well, growing up in the hood, right? If the basketball court was too close to the street, the hood dudes, they would never leave their bags close to the thing. They'll always put it over in the bushes. I never understood why, right? Because if cops run up on the basketball court, most of them got pew-pews. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So even if you're running your bag in the bush, you could come back and get it later. You know what I'm saying? But this is kind of like that situation. Knowing if I got a pew-pew, right? And this is if it's registered or unregistered, I know bullets gonna fly. They are, he got a gun. So we already know how to move. We're not gonna have some kind of weapon on us. So you know what I'm saying? They shoot first, then ask question later.
Exactly.
But I agree. It's to a certain degree. It's like this: the loss of life is always bad.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
But you're the only person that could protect your life. I don't think you should put your life at risk for a cause that people are doing their job. Yes, you could protest. Yes, you could have a gun. Yes, the first and second amendment, you have those freedoms. You have those rights. You know what I'm trying to say? But I know me and I know my freedoms. I'm not going to a park with a gun or going to fight cops, because I know it could end up bad for me and my livelihood, because I don't know. That's the next question. How are these people getting arrested and finding jobs or putting food on their table? I know if you got a felony or something, you can't get a job.
You hit.
You know, going back to what Gavin said, why is it only Americans killed? I heard something about the administration. Well, I'm not going to go too deep in it, but it came out that they were wishing those were people of color. So it would basically intensify the situation.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it has been weird that both of them have been, you could say, white Americans. You know, and they're in the fight. They're out there. You know, and it's a very different situation. But like I said, they trying to bring Black Americans out there. Like, why you ain't out here protesting with us?
I got one.
What's that?
It might be unpopular, right? It's not my position, but one thing I did see was in the election, right? And I'm not going to get into conspiracy theory and all of that stuff. We talk about real stuff. This is our thing, right? But I'm not going to go in the deep end, right? So what was the purpose? Let's go back 2 years when Biden was office and they were saying, hey, the borders are closed. What was the flooding of migrants to the U.S. for?
To get them
the main goal was to, like, in some ways, replace certain individuals. Because you remember when Trump was speaking, he was talking about the black vote, right? If it was for the black vote or the replacement of black people to get these undesirable jobs, right? I'm just saying, hey, if that was the thing, if you use that tactic to replace those minority people, why would these minority people now come back and fight for the same people that was trying to replace them?
You know, I was going to lead into that too. But yeah, I mean, Black Americans feel like a lot of these Latino people that had Latino for Trump wanted Black Americans to get deported, not knowing Black Americans, they were born here, they're Americans, you know, and there was a lot of controversy about that stuff. But now Black Americans are like, listen, y'all getting deported, we're going to sit this one out. Because
that's 50-50. And that's 50-50 because I know some, because you can't deport Puerto Ricans. Puerto Ricans are Americans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like this.
But we do have talking about the Puerto Ricans, because right. let me say this real quick. 60% of ICE agents are Hispanic.
Right. And it would make sense because some of them could be from Puerto Rico what I was trying to say is what I was going to say,
other countries,
right? I attest to that in the last conversation we had when we were speaking, and I was saying it would make sense, right? It would make sense that they get people from the origins or the place of the migrants that has come to America to help in the translation of what's going on. If a detainee or someone that's being detained is happening, so I get that. That makes sense. But what I was going to say was, most of these people, like, I lost my chain of thought, but most of these people that's coming, like Puerto Rico, that's what I was going to say. I think they be mixing up some of these Spanish cultures. You get what I'm trying to say? Because right. I definitely think they be mixing up some of them, because you definitely have the Puerto Ricans, the Spanish, and all that. And trust me, yes, that's where you would get. That's where you will always get that crowd that's saying, "Yeah, we voted for Trump," and they would take that same crowd and try to blend it in with like the Cubans or Mexicans to make it seem like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, why do you think they cover their faces? They cover their faces. But no, there's a reason, because they don't want to know what nationality they are.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. It goes deeper than that.
Oh, I think so. I mean, one, I think they should, because it keeps them protected from people who know who they are. So yeah, on that level, they should. But I think that was one of the main reasons, because what you're finding out is some of these cats can't even speak English. Some of them can't even speak English.
I don't know about that, but I can understand.
I definitely know about that. I've seen some of these videos. Like, this why there's so many of them. All of them don't need to speak English.
I'm gonna push back on that. That will make sense, because they need to understand the Constitution in order to actively to enforce what's going on. If you're telling me I'm here and you have a native Spanish speaking person and they don't know how to tell me the law, I'm gonna still win, because I'm gonna take it file a lawsuit. So
It
they
don't
won't
matter.
go,
It don't
They
matter.
won't go that far.
Listen, the president's gonna pardon them. They ain't never
No,
going.
but he will
They
still
have
lose
authority
based
over
on.
whatever they want to do.
So granted, I do agree. You need to have diversity of people for this process that's going out. But to say, yo, we got somebody that speaks full
Listen,
like Spanish
listen,
and they don't understand
the
English,
president could bring in whoever he wants.
I agree with that. I'm not saying no to that.
That's what's going down.
They're covering their faces because this is an unpopular position to be in. Because Lord knows, I just saw a video of a black man. His mask came down a little bit, and they had the audacity to call him a house N-word.